The winds of war blow fiercely across the seas, stirring up chaos and uncertainty in their wake. While the distant rumblings of conflict between the Germans, Austro-Hungarians, and the re-emerging Japanese Empire command the attention of the world, my focus remains firmly fixed on the more immediate threats that lie closer to home. For even as the specter of foreign powers looms large on the horizon, it is the shadow of the Koreans that darkens our doorstep. With their land almost completely subdued by our advancing forces, they have resorted to desperate measures, rallying their remaining fleet to stand as a final barrier to our ambitions. We have made great strides in our campaign to conquer the Korean peninsula, our forces driving deep into enemy territory with a relentless determination born of necessity. Yet, as we stand on the brink of victory, a new adversary rises to meet us, a Korean fleet determined to thwart our ambitions and protect their homeland from our grasp. It is a challenge we cannot afford to ignore, for with the German and Austro-Hungarian fleets closing in, our attention must be focused squarely on the task at hand. The Koreans must be dealt with swiftly and decisively. And so, as the drums of war beat ever louder and the fires of conflict rage across distant shores, I steel myself for the task ahead, for the battle that looms on the horizon. For I am Admiral Liu Xiangwei, and though the world may tremble at the sight of our enemy's fleets, I will not rest until victory is ours, until the banners of China fly triumphant over the lands we have conquered.
Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to the Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts campaign versus Japan. The situation is really interesting at the moment as I'm currently fighting South Korea. I didn't know this was a factor, I didn't know this was a thing. They apparently ordered 4 copies of the Duca stuff from, I guess, Italy. These guys are 10,000 ton cruisers, armed with a couple of 6.2s and a lot of secondaries. That's 24 3.4s. It's like they've been taking classes from my channel. There's also some other cruisers with fairly unusual names. Heavy Cruiser 1654, Heavy Cruiser 2089. I'm not sure if these guys are just randomly ordering ships from all over, or if they're adopting some sort of cybernetic designation for their ships. It doesn't really matter. They're going to face their worst enemy. Me and my fleet. Because while I have a couple of destroyers armed with torpedo launchers, I also have the Enigma Hun class. This is the Enigma Hun itself. We have the Gosrith, we have the Deathmaster Snitch. Sorry. This is one of the older battleships, but this is that galley. 28 3.9s. Let's see how you like them apples. Here they are. Aren't they beautiful? It's a really weird ship. Like, it has a couple of 13-inchers all over the deck. And then below decks, we have secondaries for days. The challenge is going to be positioning this ship, because this ship has to be broadside in order to make all of those 3.9s actually do something useful. Range is pretty good, so that shouldn't be that much of a concern, but getting there, that's the concern. Now, we also have a couple of the DDs. We have 4 DDs on the port side, we have 4 DDs on the right side. This is the Angelus, the Mrutham, the Tony, we got the Hooded Horse and the David Gray light cruisers, heavy cruisers. I also have the Cory Stone, which is one of the new battle cruisers. It is, again, a fairly unorthodox design. It has a triple barrel set on the port and starboard side, but it does seem like they have a bit of an issue turning the turret, because they're kind of turning into each other. So these 2 turrets might not be that efficient, and I might need to change that design as a whole. As for the other ship, this is one of the old battleships, but I do keep these things up to date, and with that they should be really quite capable. Now I'm going to start turning these big battleships broadside and get ready to inflict serious damage using all of those secondaries. The enemy is steaming directly for me. And I'm thinking of just launching a whole lot of torpedoes at them before they do the same thing to me. Which, considering their current position, is really very likely. I'm not even sure these guys... Yeah, they got hydro. I'm going to put these on torpedo avoidance because there's a lot of ships going around and I probably will not be able to maneuver all of my ships in time to dodge everything they throw at me. Now my crews are trained. I did see that these crews are not. I saw a couple of cadet level crews. This has to be their heavy cruiser, armed with a couple of 10s. And then 16 5-inchers. Ship's already on fire, but other than that, not that much. Oh. Oh boy. This is going to be a torpedo trading. Are you potentially involved in that little play? You got a bow torpedo launcher? And then another one on the stern? What the hell? Like, this is, again, a ship... Oh, and they got 2 on the stern, actually. Sitting right in the middle of those lifeboats. This is, again, a destroyer that I would build. It's weird. It's almost like I'm facing myself. Cast Outlaw. I would highly encourage you to start changing course. Lest you find yourself at the middle of that torpedo pack. These guys are set to avoid torpedoes. Oh, they're fine. The Alan Cooper, however, that remains to be seen. Now, I'm kind of happy that I am actually getting all my destroyers torpedoed much, much rather than all my capital ships. There goes the Alan Cooper. That's 99,000 points of damage? Yeah, no wonder, you're toast. I am more interested at the moment in all the broadsides going off. We're getting respectable accuracy here. 21%, 100% with the 13-inchers? And still we cannot pen? And we're getting an okay level of accuracy with those 3.9s. Look at that. That's the stuff. Are we actually doing any damage? No. Sadly not. But they are going to have to swerve a lot if they want to avoid all the torpedoes that I sent them. What are you doing over here, Madison? You are living a very interesting lifestyle. Try to come around. Are we going to hit? Yes. Now, considering how deadly these torpedoes are... That's most likely going to be the end of that heavy cruiser. We have a couple more sailing into the other heavy cruiser there. The other DDs here... Why not? Ooh, the Angelus has taken massive damage. See if I can save this DD. Try to retreat. You are going to torpedo this ship. You're going to torpedo that one. You, my friend, are going to torpedo that one. Let's see if this is going to work out. If you are, by the way, unfamiliar with how I do this, you click one ship. You hold, in this case, Control, Shift, and Alt. And that means I'm going to be targeting this particular ship with torpedoes. But only using the torpedo launchers of, in this case, the Tony. The same for the Mrutham over there. So this way, I have targets set there, there, and there. As opposed to sending one big torpedo salvo against this poor light cruiser, which really doesn't need it. By some miracle here, the Madison had like a 1 kilometer approach against both the light cruiser and a 1.3 against the heavy, and it's still here. But there are torpedoes going back and forth. It's a madhouse. As for the other DDs, well, we only lost the Cooper. The Cast Outlaw and the Malahawk are fine. I mean, yes, sure, they're still dodging. But outside of that, they're actually doing quite well. What happened to you, my friend? Oh, just a couple of 4-inch hits. Not even a torpedo. Could have been a lot worse then. Alright, that is... You dodged it? Oh, there goes the Angelus. Yeah. And they launch... Holy shit, dude. Are you just betraying your ally here, or what? Are you this hell-bent on trying to torpedo my battleships? Weird shit's going on here. Yeah, they just torpedoed their ally. Good work. Ooh! That was one from... perhaps the Madison? Jesus Christ, what happened to you? 13-inch guns. That was the Enigma Hun going off. And the Gosrith is suddenly sitting on 17,000 points of damage. Holy shit, dude. There goes the Duke of Ulster, or well, one of them. There's plenty more of them, so I'm sure they can miss one. CA group. Pay attention and dodge torps. There goes the Shamos. Wow. These 13.3s are doing damage. I'm not so sure about the the 3-inchers. They look good, but they do jack shit. Look at that. It's just pew pew and nothing actually pens. How much armor you got, Duke of Ulster? Yeah, that's a bit much. Considering that this thing has an aft belt and a fore belt that is 3.5 to almost 6. That is a bit much for these poor 3.9s to chew up. We're gonna switch fire to the DDs. Preferably before they happen to reload. Gosrith, you know what to do. Because this is kind of what these things are designed to take out. The real question is, can I do that before the DD actually is able to reload? Which, considering this one tube reloads pretty quick, that might be a bit of a stretch. But here we go. Yes, 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 this is what we're here for. That DD is taking some serious flooding. I've only been hurting this DD using the... yeah, mostly using the 3-inchers. Yeah, against the DD, this level of armament is fantastic. The moment that you start engaging anything that has armor, you're just kind of wasting torps. Well, shells. Did you actually launch? You did. Okay, you hit nothing. You hit nothing. You hit nothing. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to pull these guys off the line so I don't have to worry about them anymore. This heavy cruiser and light cruiser group is fine. Currently punishing the last of their heavies. There are torpedoes now potentially looking to interact with my own ships. Madison, I'm not sure what your issue is, but I would recommend you speed the shit up. Oh, good lord, you got lucky there, my friend. You try turning your ship off and back on again? The Madison is not particularly flooded. She has an operational funnel. She's supposed to be able to do 32 knots. But she's only slowing down. She's not dodging torpedoes. She's not part of any formation. She's just... This is a good place to be as any. Okay. I think we took out all of the DDs on their part. Yeah, there goes the 324, and there's the 1428, sorry, 1482, leaving just the last of the Duke of Ulsters. Well, South Korea, that teaches you not to import trash cruisers from Italy. I hope you have learned your lesson. Oh, incoming... No, outbound torpedo. So that was a good effective battle. But I'm surprised I'm fighting the South Koreans. Well, the Koreans at all. Nice amount of victory points, but who are they allied with? Because at this point, I am fighting not just the Japanese. If these guys... Oh, right. I went to war with Italy. And as such, probably their ally, South Korea, has decided that they want to fight me. Like, really? What? I know I'm also at war with Austria-Hungary, but why is there one Austro-Hungarian destroyer out here in Japan? Let's auto-resolve this. What? You did light damage to a battleship. You did heavy damage to a light cruiser, medium damage to a light cruiser, heavy damage to a DD, and light damage to another. What the fuck, dude? You got 2 torpedo launchers and you got cadets. Auto-resolve is not particularly friendly here. Damn. Okay, I'm fighting in various locations. We had the battle over North Hokkaido, which is over there. We got the Battle of Northwest Korea, which seems to be going quite well. And we got the Battle of Southwest Korea, which is not going that well. Oh, and they want me to spend another 281,000 tons somewhere. Sorry, I don't have a navy that big. Okay, so let me catch you up. I'm at war with Germany, which somehow I've scored 13,000 points against. I'm at war with the Italians. I am at war with the Austro-Hungarians. And I'm at war with the Japanese. Hold on, is South Korea or the Korean Empire? They're allied with Austria-Hungary? But I just scored a fuck ton of points and they got attributed to the Japanese. Or rather, my fight against the Japanese. This makes no sense. Those victory points should have gone in this war. Let's say in this bucket. Not there. I don't particularly mind, but it's not what I expected. Why is there a Japanese ship here? 1 destroyer. Okay, just call me back when there's more going on. This is not going well. We have an 11% chance to succeed. That's pretty awful. Over here I need even more. I need 185,000 tons. We have a German DD here. Oh, sorry, a CL. We got 2 German DDs over there. Like, guys, I'm a little busy. I do want this one to go through. I want to invest or invade North Hokkaido. It's not particularly valuable, but then I get both these islands, and it means I have 1 less perimeter issue to worry about. And the rest of the fleet is just, you know, they're kind of tied up. I'm not sure if these are considered inside the bubble. I don't think so. No, these are. This is 136,000 tons, so I got 164 over here. Let's reinvest those and go after Southwest Korea, which is valuable. And I'm very curious to see where the rest of the chips are going to fall down, because it looks like there are all sorts of interested parties hunting my ships. Let them hunt. As for further fleet developments, I have already completed that new flight of DDs. There are still a couple of names open, so if you are considering getting your name into the game, well, you can turn into a DD. I'm still building some ships for other nations, in this case... no, actually for myself. This is more DDs and another battlecruiser. And, well, I still have money left to burn. Let's increase the size of the shipyard. Not because I'm particularly hell-bent on going for 98,000 tons, but it also increases my shipbuilding capacity. And that is very interesting. As for research, not too much worthy of note. Yeah, we got a new Dreadnought hull, I guess. As for destroyers, yeah, we're going to get a new destroyer eventually. Big guns-wise, we're researching the Mark II 16s. We're getting the Mark IV 6. That's pretty good. It's a nice weapon. And it feels like we're still fairly early in the whole game. We're working on torpedo size 24-inch torpedoes. I guess we kind of skipped the 23-inch for no apparent reason. And torpedo propulsion, well, that's going to take a while. Steam gas torpedoes, yeah, that'll be a while. So, we're making good progress. Our campaign against the Japanese is going well. It's just that we have a little bit of static on the line from all other sorts of nations. It's their loss, because, for example, Germany, they have some territory to lose. Unfortunately, they're probably a little tied up over in Europe to try and send me their own ships. So, yeah, you might see the occasional light cruiser, you might see the occasional DD, but outside of that, I'm not really expecting to see a battleship float all the way up here. And if it does, well, we're prepared. 1 month later, and we have yet another interested party. The United States and myself are now on a war footing. Okay. This is going to be all sorts of interesting now. I mean, it was fairly interesting before, but it's going to get all sorts of interesting now. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, we got North Hokkaido. Excellent. Russia is getting control of Oman. US gets Cuba. We're still invading in Southwest Korea. And now that I have the second fleet there, my chances to complete this invasion have jumped. We are getting a little bit of a problem over here in Northwest Korea, so I'm going to have to send the rest of the fleet over there. Constantly ping-ponging tonnage around. What's the US got here? They got a DD, they have a heavy cruiser, and they have Formosa. That is very valuable. Shame if something happens to their little island. Shame, shame, shame. Unfortunately, I'm a little tied up here. I want to complete these invasions first, before I'm going to be investing in Formosa, although arguably, like if I lose North Korea or Northwest Korea, there's a fairly good chance that it'll get invested or invaded by Southeast Korea, which is mine. So I might be able to retask the fleet to head to Formosa. The US also has the Western Philippines, which is even more valuable. 3 billion. East Philippines, 2.4 billion. I think it's time to send some more ships to the Philippine Sea. So let's send these guys over here first. Let's have a nice little look at Manila. As for these US ships, they don't seem to have much. What's their fleet consisting of? They have 82 ships, but largely destroyer fleet. Like more than half is their destroyers. So their capital ships, I'm not too concerned about. Their tech is average. Of course, the British are very advanced. I believe that mine is average, although sometimes it's lagging and it says I'm behind, but it's largely nonsense. Let's get another battleship out there, another one of the Enigma Huns, because it's doing good work. These things take a while to build, so every now and then I just order one and wait for it to get completed. As for my relationship with Russia, this is something I need to keep an eye on, but so far it seems to be pretty good. I'm not at all concerned about going to war with Russia. I'm I'm almost in an alliance with the French and the Russians and the Spanish. Are the British even fighting anybody? No. Wow, okay, interesting. For once, the British aren't actually fighting anybody. At least the Japanese won't really be a threat. They got 1 DD. They're building another 28 ships with a naval budget of 1.1 billion a year. Tell me how that works. Mine's 10 times the size. But I'm, well, not even that big of a player. Because if you look at, for example, France, we're looking at 24 billion. The US has 39 billion. The British actually don't have that much. They got 16 billion. So defeating the US would be very interesting. In line with the enemy of my enemy is now my friend, I am now in alliance with the French. This is going to be very useful, because it means I don't have to also worry about the French ships eventually turning hostile. I can just work on these guys that I'm currently at war with. Speaking of, the Americans have arrived. They have their Washington heavy cruiser of the Washington class, armed with a couple of 10s, a bunch of secondaries, light cruiser, cabo. That is a lot of 3.2s. That is a lot of 3.2s. I got a lot of 2.9s, but I also have 13-inch guns, which is far larger than anything they're sporting. And these guys are scary. 32 knots, but also a torpedo loadout that's going to make the Aurora dance around a lot. I hope that I can nail these guys before they become a threat, because these Izzard-class destroyers, well, that's a torpedo spammer, and I'm not very interested in trying to dodge all of those. Let's have a fight. Here we go. Aura opening up. Her 13-inchers firing the first shot of this battle. And, well, the Americans are definitely going to have to close the distance a lot if they want to get into range, because their 10.3s only have a range of 12. So I'm not very concerned about these guys getting able to launch anything of a 10-inch shell at me. I have told my destroyers to start screening for the Aura, making sure that I don't get torpedoed. I'm not actually sure if that's what they're doing, because they seem to be rather behind. They're only doing 23 knots. Okay. Ah, there's the trouble. There's the danger. Okay, change formation, line ahead. I want to start screening against these DDs, because this is dangerous shit. If these DDs get too close, they will launch 11 torpedoes in my general direction. That is very helpful. And that is going to cause all sorts of dodging maneuvers. Look at how far that bridge is. Far forward. They got 3, 3, 3. I thought they had some more launchers. They had 11, right? Ah, sight mounts. 2 single sight mounts. Yep. Okay, so that thing can throw out 10 torpedoes in a broadside. That is not particularly funny. I'm going to target this with the mains, and everything else is going to target that. Did I do it right? Yeah. So these secondaries, the 8s are already opening up, and of course with the torpedoes having potentially pretty good range, I might, yeah, 8 kilometers, I might already be in range. My torpedoes range 9.8. Let's just torpedo these guys. Because I'm much more concerned about their ability to torpedo me than my ability to deal with a heavy cruiser. Like, that really shouldn't be that much of a deal. Okay, Maximus launched. Andrew Robinson has not launched, but the Mawang Chang has launched. Alright, ceasefire. Range, 8 kilometers out from the DDs now. These guys are equipped with a hydrophone, so they should see a torpedo before it actually becomes a threat. Although, as BrotherMunro has pointed out in the previous video, ships don't necessarily turn as well as you might imagine. They take a bit more time to... Holy shit! They take a bit more time to turn. What the hell, dude? You did 95,000 points of damage against the DD? What? Yeah, that's a thing. Okay. And now my DDs are punishing their DD. So by the time that it actually moves into torpedo range, the torpedoes won't be anywhere near that. This is actually turning into a slaughter. I was worried I was going to have to dodge a lot of torps, but we're not anywhere near that problem. They're definitely not in range yet. And the aura is engaging. This much firepower, that ship's gone. Now, are you, my heavy cruiser friend, packing torpedoes? You are, 7 kilometers out. Okay. I can now get a little bit more aggressive, which should also boost my accuracy. And I'm all about the accuracy, because this ship doesn't have that much of a main battery. It has 6 13-inch barrels, and that's it. Can you actually damage me? You can. Superstructure is vulnerable. Alright, that's fair enough. I think, however, that I can damage you a lot more. There's the Washington. What's your armor scheme like? Not that good. Not that good. Aft deck is vulnerable. Superstructure is vulnerable. But main 4, aft, belt, those are pretty heavily armored. It's 8 inches. We're looking at, what, 10 kilometer range? So I can pen... I should be able to pen that. Go AP. And this is their light cruiser. Torpedo danger at 8.5 clicks. Alright. These guys should be, yeah, about halfway through their reload right now. That's fine. Accuracy still leaves something to be desired by the looks of it. Ooh, grouping is phenomenal though. If only it was actually on the target. These 8-inchers, I'm not too concerned with. Like, I don't think they can pen the Washington, so let's go for the other cruiser that they still have lying around. I'm really hoping that the US turns up with a bigger fleet. I want to fight the US a bit more than just this little skirmish. Let's push in. By the time that we get there, you guys should be ready. Because your reload is 933 seconds, so that's about 15 minutes and change. And we're already well through the cycle. Range is now 7.3. And you had torpedoes out to 7. You had torpedoes out to 8.5. But most likely bow launchers, port starboard launchers, not single launchers. Like, let's say torpedo turrets, you don't have those. Cabo, yeah, almost no armor. So I'm sticking to my call that the Aura's 8-inchers should be able to deal... There it is. Should be able to deal damage to the light cruiser. And they very much are. The Washington's a bit of a different story. My 13s, as for now, have been struggling again. Well, never mind. Never mind. DDs, smoke, and disengage. There goes the Washington. That means the 13-inchers are now very much free to engage a lightly skinned light cruiser. And there's a torpedo. What? Oh, you idiot. The Washington hit the Cabo. And that is causing a bunch of flooding. Who needs enemies if you got friends like those? Now, I'm not sure if I need to attribute that to the mod. Or if I need to attribute that to the game. Like the base code of the game, where it just seems to be completely... Well, not giving a shit about whether or not to launch a torpedo if there's a friendly in the way. Come on. Expected better. The way that the torpedoes just fly every which way and then end up hitting a friendly, it happens too often. Oh, you just launched against the Aura. Increase the flank speed. Come on, sink it. That's more like it. Flooding in the bow. How many torps did you send my way? Oh, but the battle's going to be over before the torps get here. Perfect. So that's our first little skirmish with the Americans. May it be the first of many, because I'm very interested in taking many more of these guys down. 10,000 victory points is not nearly enough. I'm going to get a whole lot more before we end this war. Now, of course, if you're at war in a situation like this, you will take losses. So my transport ships are already getting targeted in Southeast Asia, East Asia... But so are the American ships, and the Austro-Hungarians. So this does mean that these guys are very much at risk, and I might be able to hunt down more ships. I'm not sure how I'm losing ships over in East Asia. I mean, I understand in Northeast Asia, because I barely have any power projection there, and it's probably the Japanese that are taking my ships down. But here? I don't know. Anyway, let's go and invade. That's what we're here for. Naval invasion. West Philippines. 106,000 tons. Our fleet is 136, so we should be... I mean, we're going to be over, but not by much. Which could be a bit of a problem. Oh, we're going to have a DD skirmish? I like it. 1 DD and 2 transports. Let's go. Now, this fight is interesting because I only have 1 gun. Right? I got 1 4-incher, and that's all I can use against this DD. If I'm not intentionally going to be throwing torpedoes their way, which I will not. Because my chance of hitting a DD with a set of torpedoes is not spectacular. It is possible. I mean, even DDs take longer to turn around. And Hydro isn't as reliable, but I'm here for the transports. These DDs? Well, it's that new destroyer class, the E-64. And they're not exactly designed to take on the enemy in a role as it currently is. It's supposed to be a ship that does a torpedo run at a target and then disengages. So I'm not particularly enamored with the fact that it now has to fight an enemy destroyer straight up, because it really doesn't do that very well. Also, armor is very much lacking on this ship. These guys are just not designed to take on the enemy. My torpedo range is what, 9.8? I'm trying to provoke the enemy into launching their torpedoes. But so far, they don't seem to be very interested in that. They are looking my way. You got 3 4-inchers and a 1.7, so you massively outgun me. I'm here for the transports. I'm here for the transports, but I have multiple launchers. Hold up. Are you equipped with a hydrophone? You are. My torpedoes are not fast. Okay. The reason why I'm considering launching torpedoes now is because I have a reload. I can reload the torpedoes and go after the target again. Oh, there's their torps. What the hell? I detected, and so did they. That isn't anywhere near me. But it looks like the Wakatake might very well be perfectly capable of dodging. Look at that. That's not exactly a threat. Okay, so that didn't work out. Although they are... What? You saw that and you decided just to sail right into it? And once again, you can kind of see the glorious damage saturation mechanic at work. Because this destroyer took a, what, 22-inch? Yeah, 22-inch torpedo to the face. And said, ha! Thank you for the 54,000 points of damage. I'm going to be taking a little bit of flooding, and otherwise I'm fine. Crew members that have died? 7. Yes. I would be very much interested in seeing this game drop the magic torpedo reduction that the destroyers have. Because I think it's doing the game no favors. It's just weird that DDs have this magical ability to just shrug off damage. Especially that from torpedoes. It's weird. At the very least, though, I should have slowed the Wakatake down a bit. 30 knots. 29 knots. Speeding up again. Smoke up. I can't shoot. This thing is probably half the price that I'm paying for it. 18... Well, it's not nearly. 18 million versus 20 million. Mine's slightly more expensive. Oh, please don't damage my torpedo launcher. And these guys are also packing 2 4.3s. Dude, that's more firepower than I have. Go HE. At the very least, we know that these things are not armored. Come on. Damn it. I'd love to get this destroyer off my back. But with one gun, I'm kind of concerned about whether or not I'll be able to do that. Well, maybe if I cross in front of it, because it's only got 1.7-inch gun on the bow. No, that's a 4-incher. What type? Mark 3. I got the Mark 4s. Okay, fine. Starboard turn. Drop some speed. At least this turret's a free spinner, so I'm fairly quickly able to reacquire the target. It's just that accuracy... Well, accuracy is pretty good against this DD. Boom. Boom. Ow. Get it! Ow, ow, ow. My torpedo launchers are gone. Ow. Wafa's falling apart. Go armor piercing. More holes in this ship. Fast. What? Oh, you're listing too much and your main gun's been destroyed. Yeah, that's the end of the Wafa. Unfortunate. Maybe I can still provoke this guy into going for a ram. But I doubt it. Okay, so that means that this ship is capable of launching torpedo attacks. As we've seen in the previous battle, sadly, it is not very good at doing a gun duel with another DD. For that, I might need a different ship class. This is one that the Japanese won fair and square. It's only 1,500 victory points, so I'm not that much concerned about this. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate about the DD. Otherwise, fine. So, that leaves us with plenty of enemies to fight in the next couple of episodes. Be sure to join me for that one, because we're fighting the US, we're invading Manila, we are dealing with a couple of stray Austro-Hungarian ships, we're facing the Italians. There's a lot going around in Asia. And I hope to see you guys soon for the next episode. Thank you for watching, I'll see you soon for more.